when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, everybody. And if you're just tuning in, you are listening to The Thing at the Foot of the Bed on 105.3 and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans on UFO Paranormal Radio Network, otherwise known as United Public Radio Network, or we just call it UPRN. And I am one of the hosts of this show tonight. I will introduce my co-host in just a sec and get some housekeeping things out of the way. My name is Lorilei Potvin. I am a Canadian spiritual medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher and mentor, registered nurse, as well as a budding animal communicator, well-versed in the paranormal and very well-versed in near-death experiences. Both of us are, as of having one ourselves, and I've studied it professionally and personally for 40 years. I'm also the host of my own show here on UPRN on Monday nights called The Angel Rock from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you'll join me on there as well. Now, a few things about our network. We've been around for 25 plus years, and there's something for everybody on this network. We are always adding new shows to our roster. We stream 7 days a week. And when we're not streaming live, we have multiple shows going one after another. The archive server kicks in and picks something from the past 25 years randomly to stream. So if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and your family. Also, we're going to be reading out the comments in just a minute. If you know about our show and my show, The Angel Rock, we are very audience participative. We are you guys are the reason why we're doing this show. Otherwise, Dave and I would just be having really interesting conversations, not live on air. So we like to pay attention to your comments. Now, just a quick thing, if Facebook user shows up, because Facebook sometimes gives us a little bit of a problem, I'll let Dave explain how to handle that, but we'll highlight you in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, just so you know if you're not showing up, and you have the choice to stay anonymous, or we'll tell you how to show your name and picture. And if you want to join in the conversation, like I said, please head over. We're streaming to multiple platforms, including on Instagram on the Angel Rock. If you are over there, I can't see the comments over here on StreamYard, so I'll try and pop back and forth and say hi to you over there. Also, if you want to, like I say, join the conversation, 80% of our audience is audio only. So if you want us to see your comments and questions, we'd love to have you. So you head over to UFO Paranormal in United Public Radio, either on YouTube or Facebook. We're streaming to Dave's channel on the Spirit Experience as well as his group. We're streaming on my channel, The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin, and like I said, Instagram. And don't forget that we have our own group for the show now called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, and we would love to have you join us there. We show all our clips from the show if we're covering them, any links we talk about. If you guys have show ideas, questions, comments, whatever it may be, we're over on Facebook. We'd love to have you. Now, lastly, we have a TV channel for this network for UPRN, and it's on Roku. To find it, we've got many of the shows on the network streaming over there. This show streams over there, as well as the Angel Rock did for the whole month of January. Make a decision if I'm going to continue or not over there. We'll see. But like I said, we've got great content, great shows on Roku. To find it, you're going to go to the channel store and look for UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop-down list. We're about the third or fourth one down, and if you click on there, you'll be able to watch us on your TV period, I guess. Sorry. Go ahead, Dave. Get away.
Yeah, you're a loss for words there for a minute, weren't you?
Surprising. I didn't have this written down, so I'm going through my memory as I'm saying all this stuff.
Going through the file in my head. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I will say hi to you in just a moment. My name is David Hanzel. I'm a spiritual medium and a channel, and I also well-versed in the paranormal and all around just love anything metaphysical. I just really do. I love anything weird. That's my jam.
And we're gonna do weird stuff, right?
Yeah. Tonight, that was my co-host here, my other co-host,
Is that
Carmel.
Carmel? Hi,
Yeah,
Carmel.
Carmel's wanted to come on the picture tonight.
He's blending in with the orange. That's why I didn't see him.
Yep,
Usually
and
it's Angel.
he's taking a bath live on air in front of 85,000 people.
No, I think it's more than that, but yep, he's taking a bath. So you guys had asked us a couple of weeks ago to talk about animals, animal totems, and then it sort of didn't come up. So we'll see where we go with that. But Dave and I were talking, and we thought, why not continue? We did a little bit of it, but we've got some clips for y'all to take a look at, and you guys can decide what you think of them. But we're going to point out why we may think something is maybe not necessarily the way it appears, is what we thought. But let's say hi to everybody. So we've got Christopher James, looking forward to tonight's show. Lorilei and David, we're looking forward to doing it for you. I don't know if you want to say hi, Dave. You can
hey,
read
everybody.
We've got Kathy
Hanley and me and Kim. Hi, Kim, and Christopher James and Jonathan Keyworth from Paranormal?
JK47 Paranormal, and he's with Talking with the Source too podcast.
There we go. I wanted to make sure I got that in there. Diane Brighton, hello.
No, we missed Jackie Lane. We got Julie Jean Bassett. Julia, quick shout out to. She is an incredible animal communicator and a shamanic practitioner. She's helped myself out and my family quite a bit. So check her out on juliejeanbassett.com if you need help with your animals, earthside or mediumship, and as well as an incredible healer. So now we got Diane. Hi, Diane. Okay, where else are we? Let's see. Are we missing anyone? Oh, I seen this. I'm thinking, was I missing somebody in the list? Because Kim said.
Hi, Carmel. Yeah, where's Carmel? Carmel, you're not on the list.
I'm going.
Yeah, so we were talking today about we watch a lot of little videos here and there, and sometimes before we get together, we say, "Did you see this video?" Or Lorilei will send me a video, and back and forth. And we agree to disagree on stuff, and we love looking at these videos and trying to debunk them. And it's not that we're trying to debunk them, but what happened is we came to the conclusion some people, novices, don't know what to look for to know if it's a real or fake video. And we go through a series of things in our heads, both of us separate, to figure out which ones. And we thought we'd share some of those with you, just in case you ever look at something and go, I wonder if that's real. There's like little checklists you can do to find that out, or to come closer to what you need to know. Not saying that every one of them is not real, because that's not true. But let's face it, in the world today, there is a lot of paranormal fakers out there, and they have nothing to do with the paranormal. They just want to get the views. So those are the ones that I don't like.
Okay, but we're not going to call anybody out tonight. We're going to
show you. No, not by name. Absolutely not.
We want to see what you guys think, and we'll have a discussion. So I want to give a few other people a shout out. Carrie Lynn Shellhorn is part of this network. She has Spirit Switchboard on Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's awesome. She's amazing. She's an incredible psychic medium. You guys check her out. She always has the best guests, and she's here tonight. She says hi. We also have Heather Don. I always say your last name wrong, Heather. Sorry, Don Lodovich, and she's all the way in Lac des Îles, which is in the middle of almost BF nowhere, but it's in Northern Ontario. So welcome, Christopher. I do want to say something. Hi, Sandra Sharp. I do want to comment because I didn't realize you were ill. So I'm very glad that you've had a procedure, and it looks like you were suffering with cancer. So I'm glad. It sounds like they may have destroyed all the cells. So I'm very glad to see that, and sending you healing and prayers for continued health.
Way to kick butt. Keep doing it.
Exactly. Oh, Sandra, Corvallis. Is it Corvallis, Oregon? Yeah, feel free to let us know where you're from, everybody.
Yeah.
So do you want me to play a few of these videos? Is that what we'll do?
Yeah, that sounds good. Go ahead. Plus, you guys, anything that you want to ask us or talk about, feel free to put it in the comments, because Lorilei and I are masters at switching conversation. We are really good at it.
Seen any of these videos that David's sent. So hang on. Now, the only thing is, this is going to be a problem. I'll try to play it. Hang on. I can get it to stop. Yeah, sorry, that's my fault. I should have I download them because if there's any
Oh,
ads
that's
or
okay. If you can't play the ones I sent you, we'll get them another time. Play the ones you got.
well, let's try it though and see is what I meant.
Okay.
So I may have to
Sure.
stop it if there's an ad in it. So it's my fault because you did send them to me. Oh, Diane, I did not know you were in Ontario, and I think you said that before. Kawartha Lakes, Ontario, Canada, and Kathy Hanley is in Kissimmee, Florida. I was trying to read Heather's comment. She said we had 1.5 ground shift here. I don't know what that quite means, but she's working in a big mine in Lac des Îles. So I hope that doesn't mean the earth shifting on you. Okay, present. Let's see.
I think that's what it is.
Okay, share screen. What do I want? No, I want YouTube. Never mind. I want YouTube. Let's see if that will work. Share. And now I got to make sure. There's so many buttons to push with this, you guys. So thanks for your patience. Okay, I'm going to add it to the stage. So I tried doing this full screen, and it never works for me with my computer.
Hoist the colors high.
The Kraken.
Hero, thieves and beggars, never shall we die.
I did this on purpose.
Together, hoist the colors high.
I wonder if I could turn the audio off on this.
Hero, thieves and beggars, never shall we die.
The United States just leaked footage of 5 mythical creatures.
Is that the beginning?
Dragon.
That's
Is that the beginning?
I did this. I wanted this right off the bat.
Oh my God.
The Kraken.
Hero, thieves and beggars, never shall we die.
Okay, this is the part we saw, right? Okay, that's the part we saw, right?
Yep, yeah, we already saw it. That's a short. I put that on there because, you know why I put that on there? Because of the fact I read the comments. And that's what scared me. I mean, anybody who's watching this knows that that was unbelievably just the worst fake. And basically what you guys, yeah, they're cool pictures and it's cool AI or CGI, whatever. But there are literally people in the paranormal, well, claiming to be in the paranormal field who are putting stuff like this up with this catchy title, 5 creatures leaked in the United States. That's a lie. You can look that up yourself. But that's what I mean by those. And the sad thing was in the comments, there was people in there, you know, asking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they didn't tell anybody. Or is this another cover up? I'm like, no, it's not. It's a video somebody made for fun. Now, I don't blame the creator of the video because I know dang well he knows that wasn't true. But, you know, it was entertaining. I watched it and I laughed and I did just what you did in the beginning. I was like, ha, 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 you're just laughing. You know, that's what I mean. Stuff like that. I mean, be a bit logical in when you're looking at something. I mean, you don't have to discount it right away, but that was pretty discountable. I don't know who could have actually believed that was real because I don't think anybody in the comments was, you know,
okay.
over.
I'm going to stop you just for 1 sec. I do want to say, Heather, there was an earthquake. We don't get earthquakes normally in Ontario, Canada.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty scary. So Kim, like you said, had said the first picture was pretty cool. The rest made me laugh. Good evening, Mary Erickson. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on a podcast Tuesday night as a guest, and nobody's ever done this before. They actually played our Paranormal Survivor episode, and we stopped it to explain what had really happened versus what was shown. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful that the Travel Channel with Paranormal Survivor shared it. but you would not believe the comments that people were saying. They're going, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Like, they really had believed that reality TV is reality TV, especially with the structure of that show, because they show the interviews with the people that are sharing their story, and then they do reenactments. And what had happened was they had interviewed us for 6 hours, and they had actually taken bits and pieces of the interview and spliced it together to make it sound like nothing we said was untrue, but we didn't quite tell the story the way it was shown, and people were shocked. So I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of what we're shown can be fake.
Yeah. Now, the story you told, though, is a real story. It's just they cut it and sliced it all up, and they made it. They want, they have it perform. And I know what you're talking about. It was about, I think, about 8 months ago. I did a phone interview with a reporter out of England. I won't say the name of the paper, but it's a reporter out of England. Very, very wonderful guy. But he was interviewing me about my NDE. There was a part when I talked to him that I said, there's a part where I said, when you looked on the back wall, I said, it was almost like it was like maybe like if you'd see in a bar, like when you see all those colored glasses on the back, I said, this whole wall was all this colored glass. And the next thing I know it, the headline for my NDE is man dies and gets taken to a pub in heaven. That was what he got out of it. I was like, really? And then if you Google my name, you can literally see it. There's probably about another 30, 40 papers that picked it up using the same story, and it's in New York. I'm like, are you kidding me? But that's just like Lorilei said, stuff is taken out of context. So in today's day and age, we can't take everything at face value. I always say you've got to kind of the backstory. Lorilei and I was saying we need a little bit more context. It looks great. I get it. I'm not doubting it's not real, but I need a little bit more context.
Okay, so when it comes to paranormal things, though, and I believe that a healthy dose of skepticism is in order, but I also believe that the truth will always reveal itself. And some of the weird stuff I have encountered and I have experienced, you're not going to say to me, unless you've seen exactly what we just saw in most of those videos, it was pretty obvious that it had been messed with, that I leave it open. I call it the proverbial back shelf. Plus, I think in the field that we're in, if we feel into it, we can sometimes sort of see or feel, or like you said, we need more contacts, or sometimes we talk to the people that have shared the picture and the video or their experience. And to me, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, unless they're obviously, you can tell when you're speaking to them, they're being very untruthful, because most people, not all, and especially if they're not in the paranormal field, and usually we've all met people like that or seen them, where it becomes, I want to become the next Mr. Tight t-shirt wearing gentleman making millions of dollars. And believe me, this field is not you're in the wrong field if you think you're going to be making millions of dollars.
Yeah, most of us do most of the stuff we do for nothing. Because like Lorilei and I, neither of us would ever charge to,
not for paranormal.
To like help if there's a child involved or something like that, or in missing persons. We don't charge for that. Although I always tell people you can't schedule an appointment with me to do a missing persons. You have to go through the police department.
Yeah, but that's just being professional and the way you should be doing things. So Mary, I want to call this, she said, Jonathan Keyworth and Roger and Faye Garza recommend watching your show. So thank you. They're good friends of the show, all three of them. And we love them. We love everybody here. So Heather, I hope I'm safe. I just thought of that. That's a lot to be underground in a deep mind. And she said the earth shifted. What did she say? 1.5. 1.5. That's a lot. I hope you guys are all safe, Heather.
We had an earthquake here 2 years ago.
Pardon?
We had an earthquake here 2 years ago. But you know what? Very few people felt it. I mean, they just announced it. Some people said they felt it. I'm like, I went out to my car. I can't remember, but I went out to my car and I came back in and everybody's just standing there. I'm like, what? They're like, there's an earthquake. I'm like, I was just in the parking lot. Why would I not feel it? But I didn't feel it at all.
I know there's been some in Southern Ontario and stuff, but that's a scary place to be if you're in a mine deep
You're in a mine. That's, I don't care what point. If it's 0.5, I'd be like, no, yeah. I wouldn't like that. So you're a brave person.
She is. She's a pretty cool chick, I'll tell you. Really cool chick. Yeah. So Kim, I won't put it on the screen, but she said one of those videos looked like a giant, we'll say, men's anatomy coming out of the water. It was pretty funny. That's what I was laughing at.
One of the videos looks like Kevin Bacon coming out of the water.
Well, a little bigger than Kevin Bacon. And if you're new to the show, that's the big joke here. We were a couple months into the show. I don't even know what we were talking about. And if you've ever watched the first Halloween movie, Kevin Bacon's in it and he's wearing a Speedo. And we still have, I think we came to the consensus it was either a pack of gum or a Pez container.
That's the Spencer, yeah.
That he tried to make himself look bigger. So the big joke is the thong at the end of the bed. If you've been here for a while, you know.
Thong at the foot of the bed.
Okay.
So, do you have another video? Or
I do. You did your homework, that's for sure, because you got some pretty. I have some scary stuff I downloaded with a few.
I want to see the scary stuff. I kind of did stuff, so we had a little open-ended. I figured you'd get the better stuff, and I would get more.
Okay, so do you want me to share one of mine, or you want me to share the next one on yours?
Share the next one, because which one is it? Is it? Let's see what it is.
Something.
Yeah, watch the ghost one, because this is important to watch, you guys. I think.
Okay, so if I do this, every time I do entire screen, it never does it. Yeah, it makes it smaller. I'm trying to make this video bigger for you guys.
By the way, for anybody who is just listening to the show, if you do join our Facebook group, the thing at the foot of the bed, we'll post these videos in the group. So you can see, like Lorilei said, Lorilei will try to get in there and post those videos out of her messenger, or else I'll do it too.
Yeah,
I can do it too.
One of us will. Dave will probably post his and I'll post mine.
Yeah,
that way we can post them both for the people that are listening, because they can't see. Oh, hang on, let me stop this, guys. It does not want to stop. Okay, there we go. All right, let me share.
I told the makeup lady that I didn't want my hair to move, and it keeps doing it.
I was you know what I was listening to before we went live? I'm hooked on that song Bones by Imagine Dragons. Rocking out to that while we were I was getting ready. Okay, hang on. We're gonna add you. Go to the stage. Okay. Sandra said the thong at the end of the bed, foot of the bed. I knew she knew that. She's been here since the beginning. Okay, let's try
from Harry McClary over on TikTok.
I don't know if I can get this.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
It's hard to see.
Oh my God! Watching that again or listening, you can hear what sounds like footsteps running towards the camera holder. Oh my God! For some time, this homeowner has thought his house might be haunted. Could this footage prove that to be true? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below.
Hello? Oh my God!
Okay. Ah, okay. All right. So
for something like that, I wouldn't sit here personally. Personally, I'm skeptical of it, of course. But I wouldn't, just from that small clip, I wouldn't say, no, that didn't happen. The reason, but I don't know if it did or not, the announcer, which is putting words and thoughts into your head right off the bat. So the man hears a bunch of footsteps coming up. If he didn't say footsteps and you just watch that video without context, you might think something just fell at the bottom of the steps, but who knows? But yeah, Jonathan, I do agree that it's fake.
Just read the comments, please, honey, so that people that are listening will know what you're talking about.
Jonathan Keyworth said it's fake.
Okay.
And Kathy Hanley Little said that's a possibility. I agree with both of you. It is a possibility. There's one thing as a psychic or as a medium, when I listen to somebody's voice, we've listened to so many different voices and so many different inflections. There was something off on his. And like I said, then again, I'm not psychically looking into him. So that could be how he talks too, all the time. It could be.
I would need much more context than that. But I can tell you that I have seen scenarios live when somebody is investigating and they've either heard something like that coming up the stairs at them, down the stairs at them. So I would need a lot more context. To me, though, what I kept feeling and seeing as I was hearing that was someone taking shoes in the background going tap, 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 tap. I did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no, it's exactly. And that's what we guys want you to know. Question these videos. We don't know if we're right or wrong right now. Especially a video like that. But like I said, when the announcer is putting the words and the thoughts into your mind right off the bat, it's kind of when you hear those noises like red beetle, blue beetle, we hear it different ways depending on what words come up on the screen. Did you ever see those?
I don't know. I like to give humanity more credit because people that are watching these videos, I don't know about you, but most people that I've met that are interested in the paranormal, usually, not always, but usually are willing to take a look at things, like even from the people we've got here, and we've got a really smart audience, and people are giving their thoughts. Like Kathy said, that's a possibility. It is a possibility. Some people feel it's fake, and that's okay, but it doesn't seem to me, just from our audience here, that they're swayed by what Callum from Slapped Ham said. And I hear what you're saying, though. Callum tends to, I know why he does it.
No, we haven't. All the people in our audience, though, already know this stuff. I'm talking about the people like in his.
No, but that's where I was going. Yeah. I think a lot of the people that are looking into the paranormal are trying to be a little bit more open-minded. I've met people that they think everything's paranormal and everything's a demon, yes. Yeah. But I've also met a lot of people who look at it and sort of either hold judgment or I need more information. Not everybody, but some people, yes, they do get swayed. But I don't know. I like to believe that in this field, not everybody, but I think most people are a little bit more open-minded in the fact that they're not going to say, oh my God, yeah, it was a ghost. It has to be a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah. Not some, sometimes I'll say this again, but really sometimes a feather is just a feather. But then again, sometimes a feather, it's just a feather to one other person means something very, very wonderful. So I will never, go against that.
Well, like Kim said, she goes with her intuition. And again, you know what though? And I'm going to even say this, like I don't watch my episode. I don't even like watching my videos back when I do a live. I don't mind going live. And I don't like watching myself after. But I remember one time I was sharing the link with someone a couple of years ago, and it's on YouTube, the episode that we were on, and you would not believe some of the comments people wrote. And I was killing myself laughing because one person wrote, and please forgive my bad accent, I'm just assuming it might sound like this, and they said, well, I know why you people have this problem. It's because you didn't get right with Jesus. You didn't get right with Jesus. You've got no belief in God. That's your problem. Then we had another comment that said, no, their problem is they're living in sin. They were married in a building before the eyes of God. And I'm reading this going, what? You people don't know us from a hole in the ground, right? So and there are people that do jump to conclusions right away, right? They
sure do. I've had people, very few, I have to say, but even on my TikTok, when I did a live, and I use my guides a lot when I do my lives, because I do card readings, but I never really get to the card because my guides are always yapping, which I love. I'm not saying no. But so, and they're pretty accurate, I have to say. I'm not, they are. As long as I deliver it how they said it, they're accurate. If I screw it up, it'll mess it up, trust me.
Hi, Subscribed. We got over on Instagram, and we also got SoCal Broad 25 here. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yeah. So, but
you want me to play the last one?
Yeah, play it while I get my thought here. Oh, this person said to me, it was a extremely religious person, obviously, and told me that I was consorting with the devil and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, are you really? Okay. You know, I didn't have much to say except for block delete. But it's like, it's crazy because especially in every sect of every religion, somebody heard something from a spirit or a ghost. We do the same thing. You know, so
Yeah,
I don't understand them.
I think, like you said, we just got to have an open mind. My thought is, and again, a healthy dose of skepticism is important, and you try and debunk it. But if you can't, you can't. But I think the truth eventually reveals itself. I really do, in one way or the other. Okay, let's add this guy to the stage. What a name, eh? And coming up next to the stage is Ghost Caught on Camera.
Ghost caught on camera.
Yeah, coming up next to
I would like to thank God for this award.
Aren't the Academy Awards coming up?
Oh,
We should
God.
have the Academy Awards of scary videos
Yeah, that would be fun.
and cheesy videos.
And
Those
cheesy videos too.
fun.
The Rotten Tomatoes as well.
That didn't make the cut. Yeah. Okay, hang on here. We got you on screen. I started laughing. Yeah. Okay, good. Alrighty, let's try this guy.
Right off the bat to be judgmental.
Oh, were you going to say something?
Right
Sorry.
after that, just to be judgmental. I'm looking at, I just now noticed the guys that at his name, which I don't want to say out loud, but it's a young kid with a baseball hat on backwards. I'm like, okay, I right now I'm going to believe everything you said. But like I said,
I've seen some winners too on TikTok. That's for sure. Not people, but videos that people have tried
I
to.
think this was kind of a cool one, if I can remember.
Okay, well, let's play it.
Quickly escalated into things moving by themselves and even the guitar playing itself.
Bigger.
Hello? His dog would bark endlessly at nothing, and his lights began to flicker on and off.
Oh my God.
He then noticed a ghostly figure appearing in his camera. However, when he would get close to it, it seemed to vanish. The entity would appear as a human and knock on his door, only to disappear into thin air once again. So if you didn't know, this man is being haunted by some sort of demon. It all started when he heard something coming from his bathroom, which quickly escalated into things moving by themselves and even the guitar playing itself. Hello? His dog would bark endlessly at nothing, and his lights began to flicker on and off. He then noticed a ghostly figure appearing in his camera. However, when he would get close to it, it seemed to vanish. The entity would appear as a human and knock on his door, only to disappear into thin air once again. So if you didn't know, this man is being haunted by some...
Okay, that was it. Now, this is what got me a couple... I know why you laughed. It's that same dude we laughed about.
I know this guy's story, the real guy's story. With this.
And the funny thing is, too, about that one, I was thinking to myself, the demon, he heard a guitar playing, at least the demon's talented. You know, he can play the guitar. The whole this is another one, you guys, and you know, you got to listen to stuff too. I listen very intensely to stuff. When he said the guy knocks on his door appearing as a human only to disappear when he opens it. Well, no, he's disappeared. You're not there. I don't understand what he meant by that. But you know that guy's story. What was that backstory? Do you remember?
So yes, this guy indeed. And I'm going to read these very interesting comments we've gotten too. He was putting this out that he was haunted, and I mean, it was like he kept opening that back door that you saw in the video, and this shadowy thing would come up, and he'd go, "Dude, I don't have the time for this now," and he'd shut the door. The door would open back and forth. One time, his little kid wasn't on cameras, crying in the background that he's scared the whole bit. Well, it was revealed. And again, don't quote me on it. I didn't do the research myself, but apparently he is a digital professional when it comes to videos and things like this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's kind of scary. I always wondered this. How come maybe I'm sure there's a reason. Why is it all those people that have doors opening and things running across the room? And I freaking talk to them 24 hours a day and do readings, and I get way less than that.
Well, there's many reasons. I can tell you, I was never looking for the paranormal. It found us. And so for Timbo too, you're moving into a new house. So God forbid it's nice and clear. And
oh,
I know
Timbo.
you're going to tell about it. Do you want to tell your story? And then I'll go to the comments.
No, I want to hear yours first and then I'll tell mine.
Okay. Hi, Timbo. He says, had a door open by itself, handle pulled and all, while visiting family on the Caribbean. I can tell you the podcast I was on, every time we talk about our story, usually something weird happens. And there was 2 hosts, AJ Capasso. He's been running this. It's a please forgive me, I forget the second part. It's a network he's starting on Facebook and YouTube for people that are podcasters to kind of be under one roof, if you will. So Dylan Robinson, who has Halfway Paranormal, I'm going to show some of his pictures that he actually shared with me after the show. Anyways, his door opened after the show on its own. AJ kept getting kicked off of the stream. He's never ever had that happen. Again, there could be many reasons for that. You can't jump and say, oh my God, it's paranormal, because we're talking about paranormal. But that was creepy with the door opening and closing, and then, or didn't close, sorry, it really opened, and then he had a baby swing there, and I watched it on camera live, and it was just swinging back and forth. So I'm not done. Just one sec. So what we did was I did stay on camera with him live, and we cleared and cleansed the whole apartment. And as we opened the front door, because that's how I do it, to get to the entrance and usher whatever's out there, we heard another door open in the bedroom. And I said, hopefully that's something on its way out. And he said, since we've done that, the activity is settled. Anyways, you were going to say, sorry.
I was going to say, no. That stuff, I mean, I grew up with that stuff, that same stuff. I believe that stuff. I've seen the doors open and close, and I've seen the rocking chairs rock with my own eyes. So when somebody tells me they have that in their house, I'm pretty much going, I get it. I get you. You probably do.
We didn't have it till we had the paranormal around them, but there was that activity sort of seemed a little bit stirred up after that episode. So I asked him, like, what do you want to do about it? So we just cleared out and saged. I was on camera on one end, he was on the other. So that's what we did. So Timbo, like you said, he said, had a door open by itself, handle pulled and all, while visiting family in the Caribbean. That's interesting.
And I can understand, you know what? And in the Caribbean too, there's a lot of things that happen on these islands and all that are really quite cool. If anybody ever feels like diving down that rabbit hole, just look up paranormal on islands, on these islands. There's some fake stuff, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff because of the history of the island and who's been there.
Hoodoo and voodoo.
Yeah. And not all of it was scary. I mean, I thought some of it I was looking at was really quite fascinating. Unfortunately, there are some people who put scary music behind it, but even if you didn't have the scary music, it was really interesting to see. I was like, oh yeah, I tell you, that's great. Why are you not releasing that in the States? Because that is like really good.
Well, what do I do? Hoodoo and voodoo are not bad things. That's not what I'm saying. But there's different practices there. So yeah, there's definitely different activities. So Diane Brighton says, most creepy thing I did was a house cleansing. Where did that go? That just jumped away on me. Sorry.
I saw that. Yeah.
I did a house cleansing in Oshawa. That's in Ontario, Canada. And she said a cross on the wall turned backwards. Jesus was on the wall on the cross, and it turned to the wall. And this was filmed. So that is interesting. Hi, Nicole. If you didn't hear us, hi, Nicole Thomas Ryan. So we're going to get to your thing there, though, Dave, because that was interesting. I'll just read these 2 comments.
No, let's read this.
Okay, so Cal Broad says, my husband's house as a kid was haunted. They used to levitate the couch and throw eggs and pennies at the wall. His dad was dating a witch who did witchcraft. That is interesting.
Ooh, that's fun. I mean, actually, that seems, I hate to say it like that, but I don't have a lot of fear stuff. I think that was actually, for me, would be fun, unless it was disturbing someone, but that's cool.
I wouldn't think it was cool, personally. I could do without that, definitely.
The only reason, like I said, I grew as a very 3, 4, or 5 years old. This has hurt me, so I never thought of it as bad. But I'll tell you, I've had my fair share of jump scares. I mean, that jumped out at me that I went, oh my God, please do not do that again. I did not like that. That's what gets me, the jump scare.
We just had activity here 2 weeks ago that I finally realized after our show Thursday night, it got a little dangerous. So I did a house cleansing here because we have been hurt before. My partner's been thrown 15 feet across the kitchen, didn't tell me for 2 days because he's a skeptic too. And he had his voltage meter out and everything else, testing the fridge, testing everything. And it's quite an interesting story. And it's not common, but it does happen. So Timbo says, yep. And when my uncle jumped up to see what I was yelling at, he wasn't surprised at all. LOL.
And he was probably like me then, yeah.
And then Nicole Thomas Ryan says, I dated a guy years ago that brought some bad stuff in my house. You would not be the first, Nicole. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're no longer experiencing any of that, but everything is energy, right?
Yep. So I told Lorilei, you guys, this isn't, I'm not claiming this to be paranormal, but it was really quite interesting. Mm-hmm. So I was playing around with AI and I got a new house. I move in March 20th. And I put 2 pictures of the front of the house there because I want to screen in the front patio. So I put the pictures on there and asked AI, I said, what's the square footage of this and so on and so forth. I was trying to get an estimate at what it would cost and what it would look like. And it gives me, it writes down, you'd have to figure out this and that for the cost. And it does what AI does. And then it says, there are 2 pictures. In the second picture, we see a group of people waiting to come in as if there was a party or something. And I was like going, wait, what? There's nothing in that picture. It's just a picture of my front porch. So I told Lorilei.
What did I tell you? I said you have a great
AI seeing? Yeah, what in the hell is AI seeing that I'm not? And but you know what? The house was built in 1932. I do live about 5 minutes away from a battlefield that happened on Kings Mountain. And I don't know what's happened in my neighborhood. I don't feel anything in that house. I've walked through it a couple times and I feel perfectly comfortable in the house, but then again, we'll see. Me and Lorilei will do a couple shows there. Me and Lorilei will have one chat. And then the next thing, there'll be everything. The floodgates will open. Who are you talking to, Lorilei?
I had a vision of when you were talking. And Diane says, congratulations on your new home, David.
Well, thank you, Diane.
I'm super happy for you. I am. But when you had said about the battlefield, you do have a cemetery close by. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to have spirits. I'm not saying this for you, David, for anybody listening. You're going to have spirits congregating at your house. But you know, almost what I got a vision of was with the battlefield, that's where that was kind of like home base. Wonder if that was the land.
I did think about that. If it was real, Lorilei, you read my mind because Lorilei's a psychic. But anyway, 2 psychics get together. We never have to talk. We just nod our heads in agreement. But I thought if there was something on my land and if something was seeing something like it, because it said it looked like a party, like people were going to a house. It didn't describe what they were wearing. Thank gosh, because that would have gave it away. But I thought about it too. That area, man, that house has been there since 1932. It's been refurbished and rehabbed twice. So who knows what's there? I thought there might have been something too. There might have been a meeting. It might have been a courthouse. It might have been anything like that.
It's beautiful. And I think the cats are going to love it. And it's such a peaceful, beautiful space. And I think you're going to be very happy. SoCal said, congratulations on the home, David. You absolutely deserve it, from little Jessie, she said. And Nicole said, they are happy you are coming. They're throwing you a party.
Yeah. You know what? I thought about that too, Nicole. That is my best. That is the outcome that I am asking for. If y'all can come into my house and play all you want, but it better be a party and not some kind of crap.
It's a housewarming. That's what
We talked about, Lorilei and I talked about Dominion a little bit last week. And remember that, you guys, and even all mediums know this and all that. When we set our intentions to do readings and everything, that's part of the intention we set. We're not allowing anything but this in. We're not going to deal with you. And that's your Dominion. So always remember that, you guys.
And with Dominion, it's important to point out, everybody's wishing you congratulations. With Dominion does not mean getting angry and throwing a fit or screaming and yelling. And I know you know, Dave, but for people, because I've met a lot of people that first say, what's dominion? I know I asked that years ago, but also the way I describe it with no disrespect when you're using dominion is the way that you would use authority if you wanted somebody that was in your personal space to leave, or you're speaking to somebody. I don't want to say a child, but when you're speaking to a child and you want them to hear you, like right now, God forbid if they ran in the road or something, right? You're going to use that authority, not the loud voice, no anger, but with real authority. You mean it. And that's dominion.
It's true. And like you made a really good point about politeness. Just because, remember, whatever would be in your house was living at some point. So it has, so I've done exactly what you did. I've walked through places and just said, you need to back up, okay? And that's how I say it. That's it. Just, you need to back up.
Sometimes so you need to say you need to leave, and you need to leave now. You're not welcome here, like that kind of voice. Like when I cleansed my house 2 weeks ago, I didn't say a lot. I was mostly doing prayers and doing what I do. But if I had something that was causing issues, I would use that voice very firmly, not angry, just firmly, like, I mean business. It's time to leave. I'm not being rude. I'm not being disrespectful, but I mean it. Not like, if usually if it's a human spirit, mind you, and it's true about this, if you are not such a nice person in life, there's a good chance if you're still hanging around and for whatever reason haven't crossed over you, it's not going to change your disposition until you do.
Exactly. I'm a strong believer in that. If you haven't crossed all the way over, or you're between the worlds right there, you still have, you probably still have your emotions. And so like what you said, emotions and free will. So if you have your emotions yet, even as a spirit who's between, you if you're crappy in life, you might be crappy over there too.
I have encountered that before. But the thing is, what you were asking here, I think it's a good question, little Jessie or SoCal Broad. She says, if you tell them to leave and they're not welcome, are they forced to leave? No. No, they're not.
They're not. Yeah, and then I'm glad you said it like that. There's a lot of answers to that question, just to be completely honest with you. There's lots of circumstances and lots of that. But basically, for me, what Lorilei just said is no, they're not. There is nobody forcing. You got to remember, there is nothing in the universe that forces anything to do something. You have to have agreement with it. So I agree with Lorilei. No, they don't have to leave, do they?
They might. I guess where are they there? And if you're dealing with something that shouldn't belong here, for example, and I know Dave and I differ on this opinion, like my previous home, I tried everything to get those things out of there. There's a portal supposedly open in my home. So even if they left and just came right back, it didn't. I had so many people they were supposed to come and help. They'd either get called away, they had another filming opportunity, or they, God forbid, they got ill or a family member got ill. We never ended up having it dealt with until we ended up moving finally. And it didn't matter what we did. And same thing with what happened. Like, people don't realize when everything is energy. I've talked about on this show, I talk about on the Angel Rock a lot too, that if everything is energy, which I believe it is, and I know Dave does too, and it can't be created, but it can be moved or transferred from one place to another. Okay, that includes your thoughts, your words, and emotions. So a lot of people may not believe this, but you can send things to people being really angry or having a lot of hate in your heart and a lot of negativity, especially when you focus and dwell on another person. You can send that. You really, really can. I believe that. And a lot of people don't realize it. And you know who's the most powerful I have found is usually teenage girls going from about 12 to about 15, 16, because your hormones are all over the place. Your emotions are all over the place. And I have seen, not my own home, I don't have girls, but I have seen examples of some thinking their house was haunted, but because they were that powerful, they've caused things to move when they're having a really angry outburst or whatever it could be.
That is now my brother, years ago, when I was at my parents' house, my older brother passed away, and he's in an urn on top their buffet. And top this, well, I won't call it a buffet. It's like, what's on the buffet today? Your brother. No, it's an urn. My brother Kevin. Kevin. Trust me, Kevin would be laughing his ass off at that.
I
moment.
know,
but his urn is on top, and my little brother was drunk, and like he always is, and he grabbed my brother's urn and took it outside and was holding it over the little porch and yelling and screaming. And all of a sudden, the lights, one lamp in my parents' room, kept flickering. It kept flickering, and then it would stop, and it would flicker again, and then we put it back. When we put it back, it stopped. Now, we did check everything. We've had new bulbs in there since. We don't know why it was flickering. That bulb lasted another almost year. So it was interesting. I mean, was it paranormal? Well, it was strange, and I can't prove anything, but the circumstances around it were...
I feel like it was Kevin putting his 2 cents worth in here.
Yeah, I did too. I told my mom, because my mom knows, and my mom always brings up that story and says, remember that time Kevin was here and flashed the lights on? And I'm like, I do. My mom isn't afraid of this stuff. I grew up, our first house, tons of activity. I mean, we saw it, my brother saw it, my mom and dad saw it, my cousins saw it, everybody. And then when we moved, but it wasn't enough, to freak everyone out. It did me as a child a little bit, but we moved to the next house, same stuff happened. We moved to the next house, same stuff happened. And it wasn't, and everybody else in the other houses are fine. They were just following. So that does happen. I do believe that happened. I believe it from my experience. They followed me through 3 houses. And I think the time that they stopped following me was when I pretty much said, I'm not paying you any more attention anymore. And I got so fed up with it. And that's when it stopped.
Well, you stood your ground. Now, SoCal, you said, well, dang, LOL. Like, I'll tell you, like, I don't have a problem with doing a house cleansing or something, but sometimes there's something that's right out of my wheelhouse with what people are experiencing. I know people that I can call. So, because Nicole, you're right. Like, there are certain things that you can do to have your house cleansed. And if you don't know what you're doing, please don't dabble. Get somebody in there that knows what they're doing. Okay. Because that's the worst thing. A little bit of knowledge is dangerous. And I don't mean that to scare you. It's just, you could cause more problems than trying to solve the problem that you did sometimes, right? So Nicole says, the nasty things that came into my home required me to be mean and call on God to remove them. I had to demand them to leave and pray for light and angels to protect me and remove them. Exactly. That would be what would be involved. Like, that's how I work, and everybody works differently. You guys hear me talking about the Foreman brothers all the time. And I love Josh, Rocky, and Sean because they don't charge a penny what they've been doing. Even though they're on TV, they've been doing this for years. And they got to be pretty dedicated guys because every weekend they are going to somebody's house to help them. And the thing is, though, like Josh, even though he's the littlest, he seems to be the most powerful out of all of them. And I think some people have more of a gift than others with certain things to do. So that's the one thing I do. If I feel it's out of my wheelhouse or I don't feel confident or whatever it may be, we always check in with one another in this field. I think we do. We've checked in, you and I, or there's other friends we do.
Yeah, we always do. But to put it for the question where we got going off about houses being haunted and Dominion and stuff, I agree with Lorilei, if it's kind of like Ouija boards. I don't think Ouija boards are evil. I just don't. I don't think a Ouija board is evil. I think it's used by people who don't know what in the hell they're doing. That's what I think.
Plus, if everything is energy, I'm not calling these 2 items comparable. They're actually not comparable, but you're going to see why in a minute, why I mention it. We take the Bible. The Bible has a lot of positive energy around it globally. It does. People believe in the book. It's got a lot of power energetically. Okay, Ouija boards, on the other hand, really are a communication tool, but there are a lot of belief that's kind of lower vibration or negative around it as well. So, and I also agree with you, David, that a lot of people mess around with them and have no idea what they're doing with it.
No, it's really sad to talking about, like, and we're not, now we are not, if anybody here is Christian and reads the Bible, trust me, we have nothing against that. I think it's absolutely beautiful if that's what you're doing. Although my mom's Bible from her church has the worst negative connotation behind it to hold on to it. When you use it for psychometry, whoever had it, they were not reading the book. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I think there's a problem with some of those, but like you said, things do have energy around them. Everything is energy, and our perception and what we want and what we tailored our life to see, it's just going to happen. And then if you don't like it anymore,
I've seen activity in churches, like that's supposed to be ground, and it's supposed to be nothing can. I've seen activity.
Oh yeah, there's lots of activity in churches. Lots of activity, you know, and
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say it's I who knows why the activity's there, but I can't say I've walked into church and I felt really bad, but I have walked into a church and thought, this place feels off for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know why though. I don't know why.
I have an idea, but I grew up Catholic, and I always say I went to church probably from the time I was conceived in the womb and forced to go to Catholic school and what have you. And there's a lot of history behind what was going on in the Catholic Church. And I'm not saying every church is like that. I'm not knocking religion. But my point is that we've already got a lot of negative stuff going on in the shadows, and not in every church, but there has been a lot of it with the Catholic Church. So,
yeah. There has been with all churches, trust me. But my father's Catholic. I grew up with that too. I used to love, though, you guys, I got to tell you this. When I was a child, even though church to me, for some reason, church to me is even as a child, I'm not talking about I'm bored, I want to go home. I would walk in there and go, this is so not right. There's something off here. But I'd be like 4 or 5 years old. If they would have gave me an EF meter for like my 5th birthday, that would have probably been the perfect gift, because I would have been walking around going, do you hear this thing going off? See, I feel this crap. But I used to love walking in there sometimes, and the openness, and I really liked the energy, even though the energy was off. It wasn't like pleasant. It was fascinating, the energy behind it, and the angels and the stained glass and all those stuff. And like you said, there is a definite history with that religion, that is good and terrible, So, and I think it comes across in just about every church I've been into of that faith.
It's certainly interesting, and and then you get back into history and look at history and where religion kind of originated versus what it used to be way before, right? That's probably a whole different show for a different name.
No, it's a whole other show, yeah.
But when you dig into it and you look at it, a lot of people are very, very, very shocked, right?
Yeah. I always tell people, whatever you're investigating, go down the rabbit hole and just learn everything you can about it.
Okay, so no, we did not address this, but we can. Timbo asked, did you already address shadow people? Had the sleep paralysis experience once about 30 years ago. The mainstream explanation doesn't quite satisfy my curiosity. The negative presence was unforgettable. Well, in my previous home, I had four main beings in my home. And one was, and I have a really good friend by the name of Heidi Hollis. And she's actually, I think, trademarked the name Shadow Man and Hat Man. Now, it's not quite the same as Shadow People, but we did have the same character. It looks like he's wearing a fedora hat and a rain slicker or overcoat, and was Shadow people. Now, Dave and I have talked about these before because, and I have this belief, and I could be wrong, we don't know everything, but I believe just because something's in shadow doesn't necessarily mean it's negative.
Agreed.
Your experience was negative, and I believe you wholeheartedly from what you're sharing, and it's terrifying, but it takes a lot of energy for something to manifest itself, never mind if something did affect you in its sleep. So but this is a well-known phenomena people have talked about. You were going to say, I know you're going to say something, Dave. I can feel it.
Oh no, I agree with you. Shadow people, it's one of those things for me. There are some people on the spectrum that think every shadow person or a shadow being is a bad thing, and there are some who are in between. I'm not in between. I just don't necessarily think that they all are, because I've had experiences with both. I had the one in my room, in my closet. That shadow dude was not polite. It's probably the best way to put it. But the other one that I deemed as so scary in a dream ended up being, that was something that saved me from a very terrible relationship. So, I mean, that shadow person, as scary as it was bad. And I agree with you too. It does take a lot to actually manifest themselves here. And we don't know if maybe they just manifested as a shadow person. That's about as far as they could go. Maybe, who knows? I don't know.
I do know what he's talking about, though, with the phenomena of sleep paralysis. Well, I'm going to say that I don't agree with what people try and brush it off as is. It's a phenomena. It is true that you have a natural propensity as a human being when you're sleeping to be in a state of almost like paralysis, because otherwise you'd act out everything you were doing in your sleep.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always work either, because why do people sleepwalk, first of all? Second of all, I know what that feels like. I did not see a shadow choking me, but I can tell you, and it was the day of my birthday back in my previous home. And I don't talk about it often, but 3 times that morning, I woke up feeling like I was being choked. And then I got out of bed and I was walking, like I could barely breathe. And afterwards I thought, why would I get out of bed? Not that there was anything my partner could have helped me with. So I've heard of people having this happening, but I would need a little bit more information. Like, what were you going on? Like, what was going on in your life? Do you remember your dream before and after? There would be a whole bunch of questions we would ask you, but I certainly would never say to you that didn't happen. I believe you.
Yeah, I would never say that either, because I know scary stuff has happened and I've seen scary things. I just don't get scared anymore. So I'm like the worst person to ask, because I always go, I don't know, it was this and that. That's just because how I am. But I don't think that every shadow person is bad. I also don't think that every shadow person is good. And sometimes I don't think they're a person at all. Sometimes it could just be the energy of something, and that's how it manifested itself. Because remember how we say that negative energy does all energy, like Lorilei said in the beginning, energy doesn't, you can't kill it. You can't make it. Yeah, it's just always there. And if there's a lot of negative energy, like when we talked about playing the whisper game in houses where everybody said something about that house until it was just evil at this point. When something is that dark or something is negative, the only thing you can do to that energy is, like you said, you can change it. It can be transmuted, but in the meantime, it's got to go someplace. So maybe dark energy sometime can be like a tulpa. You know what I mean? Everybody sees that energy over and over, and we might all start forming something into a form. It's hard to say.
Kathy, I wanted to mention your comment quickly, because that's exactly what I say all the time. I always felt that if God is everywhere, why do you need to be in a church? Not knocking people that enjoy it and love it, but I have said that so many times for myself, and my partner has said the same thing. Timbo said he wasn't harmed. I want to get to Dylan's pictures too, because they were interesting. Hi, and Roger, and Kaysen too. Hi, Kaysen's over in Sri Lanka. You guys check out Faye and Roger Garza. They used to be on UPRN. They've gone back to doing things like they used to before. They had a quick little stint with us. We love them. They're still friends of the network. So Faye has Faye's Angels on, I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on Tuesdays. And then Roger and Faye do Latino Psychic Visions on Wednesday around supper time, I believe. And then This Mug's for You on Saturdays. I think it's 10:30 Central, 11:30 a.m. And it's a lot of fun. So I wanted to go back here. There was a comment I was going to say. Oh, it was about Nicole. Nicole, I am so sorry that your son's experiencing this. She said, my son has narcolepsy and experiences sleep paralysis and sees demon-looking creatures sitting on his chest, but now knows it's medical. Okay. So it's still pretty scary for a kid to go through something like that.
It is. Yeah, it is. Been there.
Oh, Kason says, dang, I'm late. Well, no worries. We always forget to tell you guys, if you ever miss this or you come in the last few minutes, I will guarantee you we're probably going to see Z-Sun Dragon in the last few minutes of the show, Kevin. And he always pops in because he's at work. But there's always a replay. Wherever the video is being streamed, it doesn't go away. It's always there. And we are carried anywhere where podcasts and talk radio is carried too. The whole network is, so you can always find replays of the show. So are we missing... Okay, I want to play. Shall we put on, because I said I was going to show, I don't know if he's here or not yet, Dylan, but I'm going to show Dylan's pictures. So he's the one with Halfway Paranormal. So these ones, I'll try and blow them up here. See if I can blow them up. Okay, blow up. We'll see if you can, that one you won't be able to see very well. So let me find the one. This is like a shadow that he says he caught, I think on one of his first investigation years ago, and it's only black and white. It's kind of hard to see. So since we're talking about shadows, so hang on. Have I got it showing? Hang on, I got to make sure I pushed all the buttons.
Show a shadow figure in black and white because we won't see it. Well, get it?
Yes. Oh, okay, let me pull it up and see because it's really small. So I don't know if you guys can see that. It almost looks like a real person. Does it not?
Where?
Can you see it
right in the middle?
Right in the middle. It almost looks like a real person, and he said that was a shadow that he caught on the camera. There's a better picture after this. I'll show.
Wait, are those legs on the shadow?
I don't know. Hang on, I'll have to look at.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Okay, so he's not talking about the lady in the middle by the door in the big window, is he?
You know what? I'm gonna have to ask him because you are right.
I see what he's saying. I'm not gonna say anything, but Lorilei, look to the right of that person.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna have to ask him if there was someone behind him.
I can see what he's seeing. I can see what he's seeing. What he's talking about, yeah.
No, but it looks like there is a human leg in behind. We'll have to ask him because it might just be what's coming out. Like that looks like a human being in the middle and then to the right of the human being. And it's hard to see. You guys will be able to see it better in our group. It looks like the shadow is behind the human being. When you look at the picture, like I thought that was the shadow. I think it's a human being wearing a baseball cap. In behind, and you can tell when you blow it up that there's an arm starting to come out in shadow and a bit of a leg in behind the leg that shows the light. It's hard to see, like I said, because it's on screen. You'll see what I mean, Dave, if you blow it up on a big screen. So the person in the middle is not the shadow person. Yeah, I'm going to have to ask him because you can see it behind the person. That is a person with the light on the leg.
I see what he's. That is a person.
It's right. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but it's right. It's right here and behind, kind of manifesting in behind. Can you see that? Like it's in shadow. It's hard to see, guys. We'll post it in the group for you guys.
It's to me. Well, okay. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Okay, so these are some other pictures that he sent me.
See, I thought you were going to talk about.
Sorry?
Because well, you can't see it. I'll show you later.
Blow it up. I haven't blown it up yet, Dave.
Yeah, I'll draw it on later, what I was seeing. Okay.
Okay, I haven't blown it up yet. Hang on. Okay, so he was in an apartment that I think that he said this was in Tennessee. It doesn't want to blow up. Blow up, you. Why are you not blowing? Okay, there we go. He says that these started to appear in his living room. They're wet. Can you guys still see that? I can't tell because I'm not watching the screen. So if you look at that thing, it's got long points coming to the end of it. It was wet. I don't know what made that, because I don't think I could replicate that. Oh, Diane says she saw, Kim says she thought it looked like a gram of the previous picture. Diane says something in the doorway. She saw orbs of light. But this picture, okay, so there's one there. Hang on, I got to make it smaller. Okay, we'll go to number 2. Okay, come back. Oh, now it went small again. Sorry, guys. I don't know why it's doing this. Oh, for God's sake, please cooperate. Now somebody's sending me messages. Okay, there's another version of it. I'll just go through them and blow them up, then I'll take a look at what you guys are saying after. So there is another one. There's another piece of it. You think it's a real, you think it's just a hand, right, Dave? Is what you said before the show?
No, not a hand.
Oh, that one looks like a foot.
Right.
That one does look like a foot. You were right, because he thought it looked like a real foot. It's got some pointier points on the toes here. Now, again, that could be if it was just bone that made it. You never know. Could be, because that's what our bones look like without flesh on them. And that one, if that's what you were talking about, Dave, I can see why you thought it looked like just a foot. Because it does look like just a foot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can figure. It just looks like it. It doesn't mean, I mean, we don't know what it is really. I mean, we can speculate, but we don't know what it is.
I could see why that does look like a foot, but whatever that made those handprints, and why were they wet, showing up on his living room floor? That was
I don't know.
I don't know. Hang on. Oh, these are the creepy videos I downloaded.
No.
Okay, this freaked me out. Now, you guys can see what you think. Oh, sorry. This is not going to cooperate tonight. Okay, there we go. So you can see this is a wood pile. He said he had forgotten these pictures. Now, I couldn't see anything in this picture here. Okay. Then he says, and he was looking for these previous pictures I just shared with you. This thing was in the middle of the wood. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Dave, if you want to say, I don't, you might as well if you want. Hang on. And then there's a blown up picture, I think, of it, if it'll blow up. I don't know what this thing is in the middle of here. You thought it was, you can tell him, Dave.
It all depends on what it all depends on what perspective you're looking at it. That's probably the best thing I can say. I don't know what it is. I would not sit here and say that it's not something, because I would be just as ignorant as anybody else, because I've seen crazy things, you guys. So I know there's crazy things, but I'm always trying to look at photos and trying to see. First, I always try to see if it's something it's not. So
I like it's Alice Cooper. Sorry.
It's kind of like, it's like, did you ever hear, like, if you're a medium or a psychic, did you ever hear about doing this? I don't know if you ever done this before, and I've done it and it does work, but it's not as well for me, but it has worked. If you're sitting here and you're trying to get that information, and for some reason when it's not coming through directly, you know what I mean? Like you want it. What I do is whatever question I ask, I go in my mind and I think of the opposite of what the answer should be, and I start putting it through my head, and then they correct it. I'm like, there we go. There's my answer. So sometimes when I look at things, I try to look at everything it's not, or, is first, and then the right one will, pop in like that. But, like you always say, I mean, we never know until, we all go back home, what in the hell is going on and what's going on. I can't make a conclusion out of it. I can't make it.
I couldn't even come up with anything to ask that question.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly what I thought of it. It's very odd, and I think it's very cool.
It's Alice Cooper. That's what Kim said. It's Alice Cooper.
It does look like Alice Cooper, or it looks like something Alice Cooper would have in his backyard in his woodpile.
It wasn't in his backyard. I know that. I think they were on an investigation. He said he forgot about that picture.
Yeah, because I saw some crazy crap in the woods, as far as but I don't know. I don't know what that was. I'd have to look at it. You'd have to be able to blow it up, and like we always say, contacts. But what I do is, if you guys are good at those pictures, you know, those 3D pictures or those pictures you see where it's all dots, and then you have to, you know, you make the 3D interest. Okay, I'll do that with pictures sometimes. I'll lessen my gaze and I'll do everything I can to try to clear it in, and then I'll try to look at it if I was looking at it from the left side or the right side, and you know, and that could just be me full of bull, but that's actually what I do every time I look at it. And sometimes I go, aha, there's that one angle that I looked at. It's like, that's not what we think it is. But that's one of those pictures I don't know. I really don't know.
See, for me to see something like that, and again, I have to be more skeptical in this day and age with deep fakes and the technology that's out there. But to me, I would probably say to something like that, like when we mentioned pareidolia, I'm sure you all have heard of it, but if you haven't, it's the brain's natural propensity to make faces and things that have meaning to us when we only have partial details, like when you look in a cloud and you think you see a dragon, or it's the same thing with a lot of paranormal stuff too, we tend to do, and it's something we have to look at, is this pareidolia. Like, you know, when you get a piece of toast and everybody says they see the face of Jesus in it, is it really the face of Jesus, or is it people having a good case of pareidolia? But I will say, when you've got, say, 1,000 people and you don't tell them what's in that piece of toast and they all see the face of Jesus, that's when that gives me a little bit more pause for, is it really pareidolia, or what is it that everybody's seeing the same thing?
Well, that's a tough one, because pareidolia is us seeing faces. So 72 people could all look and say we see Jesus, and it could still be pareidolia. I want to talk to the guy who goes,
if you think of the chance of odds, because usually when you show somebody something that's kind of questionable, right? Everybody.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. No, you're absolutely correct. I know what you're saying. When you take so many people, it's kind of like when we talked about EVPs. Instead of putting across the bottom what was said, just let us all listen to it and see what comes up. No, so I do get you. 72 people seeing the same exact thing in a piece of toast is probably pretty cool.
And it's a silly example, but the more people that see it without being told, if you've been told ahead of time, it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Exactly. And I mean, we do have to kind of fool ourselves. I mean,
and I'm not even saying it's still not pareidolia. It's just like, you know it yourself. You must have played the cloud game, right? Everybody's done that when you were little, especially laying on your backs on a sunny day, and you're saying, "Hey, can you see that shark over there? Can you see that doll?" And people are going, "No, that doesn't look like a doll to me. It looks like this," right? Because usually people don't see the same thing because their brains don't all work the same with pareidolia. And again, I'm still not saying it's not. It's just, it's odd if that many people can see the same thing.
Yeah. I had a lady one time tell me, she said, she gave me a picture and she said, "Look at this picture. I was talking to my dad out loud and look at it. It's a complete heart in the clouds." I could not see it at all. I couldn't. But, I told her though, because she said, "Can you see it?" And I said, "I'm not quite sure," but I said, "Do you see it?" And she goes, "Yeah, I see it." And I said, "Do you feel it's your dad?" She said, "Yeah." I'm like, "It was your freaking dad then." Because I do know this, spirits could be using pareidolia just because they know we're going to look and see that it's something too. So, you know what? Whatever in your heart when you see something, just go with that.
Diane had said, "My friend is Alice Cooper's cousin." That's cool. That'd be cool to have Alice Cooper on. He used to be a teacher. He's pretty intelligent. I've seen him in podcasts and stuff. He's quite the golfer too. And then she says, "I used to bring in photos taken with orbs, maybe like images to professional." Okay, so what were you getting confirmed, Diane? You said you used to bring them into a professional photographer for confirmation. Did you understand that, Dave? Do you understand what she's at?
I did. I used to bring in photos taken with orb-like images to a professional photographer for confirmation. The periods were just put in the wrong place.
No, but confirmation of what is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't understand the confirmation.
That's what I'm asking you. No, I understand what you wrote, but I'm asking, what were you getting confirmed?
Yeah, we're not picking on you. We're just wondering because we don't understand
Oh, I know she'll type what it was. That's why I asked. I thought, okay,
Was
maybe
the professional photographer, was he like a seasoned ghost hunter? Is that why?
Okay, so Nicole says, I have some pics that are fakes. I would love to share them. I like to Photoshop. Oh, you do? She did the great picture for us,
Yeah,
Nicole.
I know. I like that.
With the thong at the foot of the bed. And she also came up with that name. Nicole, if you've got some, either post them to the group or you can send them to one of us. If we've got time to still share them. And then Jackie said, interesting fact, Alice Cooper is a Christian. That is interesting. But it's kind of no different than a movie actor playing a role. I've seen Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper isn't who he is on the stage.
It's a role.
That's Alice Cooper. Yeah.
Because I've seen him in concert at Rockfest before. He's actually puts on a pretty good show. I was never really a huge fan, but he was pretty good. Diane says, so the professional photographer, he found that if he enlarged the pics, the orb pics were in, so the orbs were in the photograph. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay, hang on. I think Nicole sent them. Hang on. I think you sent. Hang on. I got some spooky videos too. Okay, Nicole sent a picture. Let's see.
I can't say for orbs. I mean, there's who knows who decided which orb was energy or not. But as far as when I see orbs, it's usually has to be putting out its own light source, which means you should be able to see an orb in the dark without a flash on your camera because it's energy. So it has its own light source. That's how I usually look at them. But that does not mean that I'm right. I'm just saying that's what I gauge mine on.
Yeah, the problem with orbs is, and I have seen real orbs, so I can't say that there's no such thing as real orbs because there is, but I have seen a lot of people, you can tell kind of where they are in their paranormal. That's what I said, Christopher. Alice Cooper is an awesome golfer. You missed that because I said that too. I think Christopher is a rock photographer, if I'm not mistaken. I think he is, if I remember. I forget what I was saying now.
My brother who passed away, he went as Alice Cooper almost every Halloween. Almost every Halloween, he did his makeup and he had his hair and he had his top hat and all this stuff.
That's what I was going to say. You can usually tell where people are in their paranormal journey by the orbs usually. Don't get me wrong. Orbs exist. I have seen real orbs, and exactly I actually had posted it's probably still in Paranormal University if you do a search for orbs, one of the groups I have, and it gives you the criteria that help you sort of define the difference between what a real orb is or another. And one of them is seeing it with your real own eyes. And then like a lot of people, like I say, you saw one with your own eyes and then say you had a ghost box on, something says it's me, doesn't mean it's real. I'm just going off the top of my head. Like if you look, there was some really good criteria to kind of figure out if they were real or not. And I believe what you're sharing, Diane, it sounds like you're fairly well versed in the paranormal if you're doing house cleansings and stuff like that. So you're so funny. I did say it out loud, Christopher. He goes, clairaudient medium Lorilei. I said, no, I did say that Alice Cooper was an awesome golfer earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just agreeing. I said you did say it earlier.
Okay,
you said
good. Okay, Nicole, is this a real picture you've sent me, or is this one that you photoshopped?
This is a Photoshop, I believe.
Oh, you see. Hang on. Share screen. Facebook. So I want to ask. That's why I wanted to ask her ahead of time. It probably is because that's what she was talking about. But if it is,
she wrote it in a comment.
Sorry?
She wrote it in a comment. But I want to make sure that I'm not wrong too, because
I do too. That's
not always the wrong one. I can be very, very, very wrong.
No, but I just didn't want to say, okay, this is photoshopped. I wanted her to tell us because she just sent me this. No, she was talking about having some photoshopped pictures. It's Photoshop, so you were right, Dave. Good.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I have some pics that are fakes. I would love to share them. I like Photoshop.
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to just assume. Okay, so that's been photoshopped apparently. Now y'all tell me how real that looks. That does look pretty real.
You know what? Thank you so much for showing those, Nicole Thomas Ryan. And anybody who's
That's why I asked you to send them. Yeah.
Because anybody who's listening, go to our page, go to our Facebook group, the thing at the foot of the bed, because this, like Nicole already told us, this is Photoshop. You know, she's not trying to pull one over everybody. She told us that's what it was. But if you weren't to tell anybody that, I bet if you put that on TikTok with a caption that says, look in the mirror, whatever, 30 billion people would go watch it and comment.
People didn't go wild over my video that I posted I forgot what it was.
I thought they would. Maybe it was the hashtags, because that's
I put the hashtags and everything. I think there's so much paranormal stuff on there.
I think because that was real and they're looking for fake stuff. Maybe that's what.
They did. I haven't told them yet what really happened. I'll have to leave another video. But I'm glad that you did that, Nicole, because that's very well done. And I'm not an expert in this, but I bet you there would be people that would have a hard time even telling if that was real or not. Like people that did photoshopping, because there's certain things they look for, right? Like Dave, you had said about the light on the leg, and you know, if something that supposedly is in spirit is giving its own shadow. There's lots of different things.
There's lots of different things to look for. That's a really good fake, though. I love it.
Thank you for sharing that, Nicole. That was awesome. And I figured, like I said, that it was a Photoshop one, but I thought I should ask you, because just looking at it small like that, I couldn't tell whether it was
no, it looked good. It's really good.
It's really
you could be the next, if you Photoshop like that, you could be the next TikTok sensation.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna want me to play one of the I'm trying to think what spooky I only downloaded a few. This one though was not really spooky. This one was kind of like, really, dudes, really? Now this is apparently with that, I didn't know he was so into the paranormal, that comedian Matt Rife. And I recognized the guy he was investigating with, and I thought it was with Twin Paranormal, but it wasn't. It was with this comedian named Matt Rife that's into this. And they supposedly are saying there's a skinwalker. Y'all tell me what you think. I know what I think. I think you can tell by my face, but we'll see. Because we were doing fake stuff tonight. So hang on. I gotta up. There we go. Finally. Okay. Speaking of, I need to download videos. I don't know why this one didn't download. That's on me tonight too. So hang on. Present. Oh, no, I took 3 years of photography and really enjoy it, but I'm not a professional really. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I'm sorry, Christopher. You're a clairaudient medium. Well, I really screwed up tonight, didn't I? Duh, meaning me. Sorry, I'm getting you mixed up with another friend I have named Christopher, so please forgive me.
Christopher James, I'm on Lorilei side. I actually thought the same thing Lorilei thought, so we're both sorry. We understand.
Sorry. We'll remember. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. So I'll go back a little bit. I got to move this up. Okay. No, don't do that silliness. Okay. Showing. No, it wasn't showing. I knew it wasn't. I knew I forgot something. Let me take that comment off too so you guys can see this better. So many buttons to push. Okay, add it to the stage. Sounds like it's a stripper pole.
Coming to the stage.
Skinwalker. The night we caught a skinwalker. Yeah, right. Skinwalker.
Okay, now hold on. Because of my pareidolia, that first frame looked like a little lizard.
Corey, you okay?
Did you see that thing?
Get him back to the truck. Skinwalkers plus something else. Make sure he doesn't faint. Watch after him. They're going after this dude's life right now. We gotta go stop him real quick.
Oh, fuck. That's a pistol. Yeah.
Got it skinned. You got it skinned? What the fuck?
What?
The rest of them got away. The rest of them fucking got away.
What?
Yeah, they got the skinwalker skin, everybody. Coyote hide.
This is
the
legit seriousness of something that can kill.
What the heck
Corey,
was
you
that
okay?
thing?
No.
Hang on, I gotta turn that off just for a sec. Close. Okay, what'd y'all think of that one?
Well, it's a good use for a rabbit pellet to,
I thought it was a coyote hide personally.
Or a coyote pellet, yeah, or a pellet. Yeah, I'll let you guys answer. I'm not going to say a word on it.
It was just when I found it. It's nobody's.
I know, but I know why you posted it. What was that? Look at that white person, because that's in every freaking. I don't know. I think the people who are making skinwalker videos and all that, they need to up their game.
I do too, because
don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fake. Roger wants to have you on their show, he said. So you have to get a hold of Dave. That's all.
Well, your wife tried to get hold of me for one of the shows, but it was on a day I couldn't do it because I'm booked up on Tuesdays.
Well, they got Wednesdays and Saturdays too. So Diane says it was suspenseful. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, that creepy thing running across the camera, but it wouldn't be the first time I've seen a human being run on all fours and look creepy. So, and it wasn't creepy. It just looked creepy.
Yeah, it just looked creepy.
And
I think
go ahead.
That's my scariest one, and I'll send it to you. You've probably seen it before, but unfortunately, it's not real because they've used it in so many videos, the same clip and the same thing. But the one I saw, it was supposed to be in another country, and two guys are out in the woods, and there's a brook or a stream, and they point their camera over it, and this white thing that was white like that turns and looks at them quick, and then they all run. But the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's really creepy. But then after a while, I saw everybody take the same video and just put a different story behind it. I'm like, oh, okay. But I haven't came across a good skinwalker video where I said, now that looks really cool. I haven't yet.
I know where my videos are. I forgot to send them to myself. I knew I downloaded them. So this is another one, leading people astray. Okay. It's just uploading right now. It's not very long. And I think we got Callum from Slap Tam again, leading people astray. I'm sorry, Callum, but I think you're leading people. And hang on, I'm going to go down. Yeah, because oh no, it wasn't him. I think it was from Bizarre Bob, maybe, by the voice. Hang on, I gotta get it to open. Open Sesame. Why won't you open? Hang on, let me see if it'll do it this way. I know it's uploading. Oh, there it is. Good. Okay. I know it does, but stop. Okay, let me see. We want Facebook. Okay, share. Takes me forever to do this, guys. Sorry. Okay, so this isn't that long, but we were doing fakey stuff tonight. This is fake. I did have some scarier ones. We're going to run out of time, but we'll have more time.
Yeah, we'll play next week. Let's do scary videos that are harder to fake next week.
The title of the clip says it all, which reads, a priest is about to give a speech, but immediately hears screams. The clip is pretty unsettling, to say the least. This is what was captured.
There's nothing to see.
El Señor esté con ustedes y con tu espíritu.
Be better if you guys could see it.
Lectura del Santo Evangelio según San Juan. Gloria al Señor.
The priest was immediately caught off guard upon hearing the mysterious screams. According to those who attended the ceremony, the priest had to end the mass immediately after this. No one knows why the mass had to end so soon, but there is no denying that the screams had something to do with this. Whether paranormal or not, the sudden occurrence of this mysterious scream is unnerving on its own, but with everyone else's reaction to the cry, it makes it even more frightening. This recording was taken about 4 months ago, and still, no one knows where the cries had come from. As with most videos, this one remains a mystery.
Hang on, I gotta pause this. Okay, so you saw what's that?
Oh, what a mystery.
No, yeah, but did you see the title of the video? Demonic activity caught on camera. Says who?
Yeah. And it wasn't, it sounded like a woman's voice in a church, in an empty hall. I don't, and like what we were saying before, they put up that title and then they say, oh, it threw the priest off. I watched him while that went off. He didn't shrug when that noise was made. No. Only the kids looked. So who knows what that in.
Excuse me. Plus, we saw nothing with the congregation. And this is what gets me, because that's what upsets me with TV. With, like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad the paranormal's out there because I think it's made a much more acceptable subject to be able to talk with people about. But it's so misleading. Like, I was watching a video the other night, I was listening to it, and people were saying, like, people are watching what these people are doing on camera, and they're going, like, say, to a notoriously haunted place, and like they'll take stuff from there, and that, or they think they're like a ghost hunter because they've watched a TV show. And they, first of all, you don't go anywhere and take something from someplace, but everything's energy. Like, I don't know, a lot of people I know, I've had people contact me that ended up with activity at their home after they took something like a brick or, a piece of something. You don't take stuff from anywhere. Plus, I always say there's nothing wrong with becoming an investigator, but find a team in your area that's willing to work with you and have you join part of the team.
Yeah, exactly. I don't do that either. If even stuff that I bring home, I always put like a good intention behind it when I bring it home. It's automatic though, I do that. But if anybody goes and takes something from someplace, remember everything contains energy. So, I mean, I'm not saying you're going to get something bad in your house at all, but I am saying that sometimes you can bring in that energy. Like Nicole Thomas Ryan had a person bring in that energy. And I've had that too. I've had people walk into my house and leave, and I thought, I'm going to have to light this house on fire with sage now because the energy was so terrible after they left. You know what I mean?
So Faye, you said you didn't hear the scream. That's okay, because we're going to upload these in the next day or so. Hopefully later on tonight, I will upload these clips into our group, the thing at the foot of the bed. That's one of the reasons why we made the group, because the audience is 80% audio only. So even though we can explain it, they can't see. So this way it's in a space for them to find it and everybody else.
We're seeing eye podcasters. Where is it, right? We have to explain what they can't see.
Holy crap, we only got 3 minutes left. You want to tell them where to
find it? Oh my gosh, you guys.
We had like 10 minutes. All of a sudden it's like 3 minutes.
So you guys, thank you so much. Like me and Lorilei have said over and over, please go ahead and check out our Facebook group, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed by Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel Medium. If you want to know more about me, you can go to my website, theywhispertome.com. That is also the name of my YouTube channel, theywhispertome.com. If you'd like to find me on TikTok or on Instagram, it's at David Hanzel Medium. No letters, no numbers, no anything, just at David Hanzel Medium. Remember, keep this in mind. Lorilei and I will never, ever DM you to solicit a reading, okay? For me, the only way to get it is on my website and on TikTok. Lorilei will tell you where you can get hold of her.
I sure will. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Also, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, please stay tuned for the second night of The Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano coming up right next. Got a great show. They always have fantastic guests, even when they don't have a guest and they hang out with y'all. You guys know they've got a great show. Also, if you ever want to get a hold of me to book a reading, I do energy healing. I also do Akashic Records. I do teaching and mentoring and paranormal help. You can get a hold of me on Facebook.com/The Angel Rock, or you can try just reaching out on Messenger. I am on every social media platform too, either under The Angel Rock or my name, Lorilei Potvin, so you can find me. Dave is very right. I never, ever, ever, nor will Dave message you to say, oh, I feel your energy and I've got a strong message for you from the spirits. We don't do anything like that. So be rest assured it's not us. Also, please stay tuned for Monday with the Angel Rock. I forgot to check to see who's coming on, but we have a wonderful guest for you. So that starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, I don't think I forgot anything else. Did I, Dave?
No, I think we got everything. I think we forgot to do our mid-show thing, but I forgot about it too.
We did. And I remembered about a halfway through and I thought, oh, well.
Okay, I couldn't. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to remember too. But other than that, thank you guys so much for being on here. Remember, you can go into that group and tell us what you'd like to see a show about, or you can guide us right here in the comments, because Lorilei and I can talk forever about this stuff.
And share your spooky things if you've got spooky pics, or you got questions about the paranormal, anything like that. That's why we put the group together.
And if you have a paranormal experience that's not spooky, please share that as well, because we don't just talk about spooky stuff.
That's true.
But we love spooky stuff.
We want you to stay spooky, right, Dave?
Yes, stay spooky, everybody, no matter what you're doing. And on the count of 3, we're going to try to end it again. We're going to keep trying this until we get it. All right, you guys. 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed?
Oh, almost.
I think it almost was.
One of these nights we're going to get it perfectly. And when we do, Dave and I said we're giving away a reading. So you guys, with our little bit of lag, me being up in Canada, Dave being where he is in the States, and we're broadcasting from New Orleans, we will get it right once. Anyways, we love you all so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you Monday. We'll see you same space, same time here next Thursday. Okay. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye.